Rain or shine, it's here to make you laugh. It's the Steamboat Comedy Podcast. It's the Steamboat Comedy Podcast. And now your host, Kyle Ruff.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. Let's get that going, baby.
Let's get that going, submitting to comedy festivals that we won't get in, even though we know the organizer.
We are going to submit. Gotta have a video. It's like, all right.
I can't wait until we can submit to High Plains and they can tell us no. Someone's calling me right now.
Let's answer it. I'll answer it.
It's too late.
It's too late. I'm going to get it.
So, welcome to the Steamboat Comedy Podcast, everybody.
Your host, Kyle Ruff.
Hi, it's me, Kyle Ruff, yet again, joined by Matt Newland.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be in your room.
It's good to be back in your room.
It's always nice to be in your room. Check it out.
You mean the studio?
The studio.
The
yeah.
very professional podcast studio.
It's always nice to sit in your room.
It's always good to just sit in your weird room with the bed leaned up against the wall.
I got to admit, the other studio was nicer.
It was.
And this has got a good ambiance to it. It's more grunge, which is my style.
That's true.
This is more grunge.
You're a grunge guy.
Mattress up.
Mattress on the wall.
Yeah.
Weird shit on the walls, too.
Steamboat Comedy.
Yeah, you can't
We
even
always
eat.
got to fucking address that.
Yes, very committed. That's what that's about. So, we're back.
Little hiatus.
Little hiatus. I know we never. Excuse me. Well, that's part of it. The coughing there was everyone had COVID.
Yep.
But we never have hiatuses usually. We're usually extremely consistent.
We're continually coming back from hiatuses. Hiatus eye?
Yeah. So it's been almost a month since our last podcast.
Yep.
A few things have happened,
Couple things.
including Routt County being ravaged by COVID.
Absolutely manhandled.
We're in the top 5 for COVID cases per county in the U.S.
Yeah, if you believe in that shit, yo.
I mean, I don't. To be really honest with you, it's fucking after the last.
I mean, you've got it 14 times at this point, so it's like
I
you're
have had
immune.
COVID in every orifice of my body.
Yeah.
That I went in and they're like, you have COVID of the anus. And I was like, that's not a thing. And they're like, well, it's in your mouth now,
It
too.
is now,
And I was
yeah.
like, how do I keep doing this?
You just have to keep getting toothbrushes because every toothbrush it just gets COVID all over
Yeah,
it.
especially when I stick it up my ass. To
Yeah,
try to clean it out.
that's where you got the COVID from in the first
I
place.
know. Whoa.
You brush your teeth and
Wait, is it mouth then ass or ass then mouth? I always forget.
depends on the time of day.
Depends on the mood.
Depends on morning or night.
Depends on what
Yeah.
she says. So we're
We got a bunch of COVID going through. Though.
bunch of COVID going through. We also have to mourn the dearly departed Mr. MK Paulsen.
Died of COVID.
He died of COVID.
Yeah.
He got COVID so bad in his left ankle
That he died.
that he died.
He broke his left ankle, but that'd be pretty funny if like we just started calling all injuries COVID.
Because COVID, it's like you break your arm, like, oh, you got COVID
Got a
arm.
little COVID arm. It's gonna take 4 to 6 weeks. Don't
Yeah.
touch anyone.
Yeah, this is your COVID cast
is
for your
your
COVID
COVID.
arm.
Yep. Poor MK, man.
Yeah, that's a super bummer, man. He was really starting to find his groove, really starting to actually get good at snowboarding
Yeah.
until the one day where he wasn't.
Well, it's tough up there, bro.
Yeah, it's
the
tough out
mountain's a
there.
fucking tough spot.
That's a tough. I mean, it's like way bigger than a hill.
Yeah. I'm not talking shit on MK, but a lot of people are like, oh, it would be great to live in a ski town. And then you ski for 3 weeks and you're like, I just did. I was like, I think I broke my neck. Dude, I swear to God. It's like, it's not, yeah, it's great to live in a ski town, but it's fucking, you got to be ready for it, dude.
You gotta be ready for it.
I've ate shit on Saturday.
So what? Tell us how you ate shit. What happened?
Dude, it was just Saturday morning, got dropped off. I don't want to give out. Got dropped off on a good spot on the mountain. You know what I mean? Don't let everyone hear where it is. I think you know where it is.
Okay,
And,
heard.
Got dropped off. Great, good vibes, snowing, fucking nuking.
Why is that a secret spot?
Because once people know you can do that, eventually there's going to be a line there. That's what we were talking about. Like in 3 years, there's no way this is going to be a thing.
I mean, it's already kind of like.
It's a little bit of a thing, but there was only like 15 people there at the start, and I
At what
guarantee
time?
Opening chair, so 8:35, I think, is when
Really?
that one opens. Yeah,
Oh yeah, the base is definitely.
and the
way
base
more
is
crowded than that.
packed, dude. And there was like 20 people there. I was like, not a lot of people, but It was nuking, great vibes. Went up the lift, was going down to storm.
Yeah.
First run, I was like, oh, there's like 8 inches of powder. This is great. Hauling ass. What's that groomer when you take a left?
Right off of Storm?
Yeah.
Right
off
of Thunderhead?
Yeah.
That's, what is that? It's not.
I never know what it's called. It's just
it
go down to
Rudy's?
Storm. It might be Rudy's.
I think it's Rudy's run.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, I was flying down it, and there was a little bit of crust underneath, and my left ski got hooked, came off, and I went over the handlebars.
Oh, buddy.
My dims weren't set up enough either, which is
apparently if your ski came
I
off.
just got the fucking bindings put on, and I was like, I should turn these dims up, and then I just haven't.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I'm always like, crank those dims. I was like, I want my leg to come off before the ski comes
Yeah,
off.
that's where I'm at now. I was like, I'll
Yeah.
never do that again. Ski came off. I fell going Mach fucking 20. Like, ate shit, popped up. I was great. And then the next day, I was like, oh, my neck's sore. My neck's a little sore from the fall, maybe.
Yeah.
And then Monday
And the
at
day after,
work,
yeah.
I was like, oh, my God, this is brutal. And then Tuesday came around. I was like, I need to go see a physical therapist because I might have broke something in there.
Jesus.
So then I went and saw a physical therapist.
And they're like, you're a pussy.
And he was like, it's not broken. I was like, that was 80% of the reason I came in here, man.
Oh, there you go.
I can leave now.
Yeah, bye.
But it's still fucking sore. It was brutal, dude.
Even just like icy hot in the fuck out of
It was a whiplash, which is a broad term. I didn't want to
Yes.
go. I didn't want to go into the PT's office and be like, "This is whiplash," and he'll be like, "You're a fucking idiot."
Yeah,
But he
okay.
was like, "It is whiplash. That's just a broad term for like when you experience a high impact and then just tighten the fuck out of your neck and back
Yeah.
to protect your
Like,
spine,
it's
like
yanked really hard.
unconsciously, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're so tight that the force, and so it fucked me up, and I was like, I might not be able to walk anymore.
I mean, it's basically just like a low grade like muscle tear is what that is
Yeah,
at that point,
well,
right?
it's just so it's like if you just there's no way like you could just flex your neck that fucking hard if you
Just-
weren't bracing for an impact.
You're
You know,
just standing still
like
and you just flex
like
your
I
neck
couldn't
so
make
hard you get
myself
whiplash.
that sore. Yeah, so that happened, but I'm good now. Gotta be careful on the mountain.
I'm so not careful every day.
No, I'm not
such an
either. That's why it's
asshole.
so fun.
I
Though.
know, dude.
that's why I'm like I gotta take a week off.
My whole thing on skiing, and I ski every day. I ski 5 days a week to and from work, and
Yeah.
I've been doing it since I was 3.
That's why you're so jacked.
That's why I'm so jacked
Yeah.
and tall. And my only way that I can get off skiing is to just like go as fast as possible and just be sketchy. And also, like, while trying to look as nonchalant as possible
Yeah, you
while
wanna-
going fast.
you wanna
'Cause
look
it's all
steezy.
about looking cool.
It really is.
It really is.
Because when you look cool,
Because when you look cool,
you ski better.
you ski better.
You really do, though.
You really do, though.
There's a reason you see some people look super dope and they're skiing like doing crazy lines, and you're like, oh, it's because you got to be dope
Yeah.
to ski dope.
Exactly, dude.
That's it.
Yeah.
You can't be going fucking pizza down the mountain doing
No.
80 miles an hour.
I mean, I could.
it just won't work. You'll fall.
I could 80-mile-an-hour pizza if I
You
wanted
cannot
to.
80 mile
Oh,
an hour
I could,
pizza,
I could
bro.
80-mile-an-hour pizza, dude.
You realize how quick your leg would turn in?
you just like snap both your femurs and
yeah,
just go
dude.
forward. No, I mean you can go fast, but it's more about looking cool whilst going fast.
Yeah.
Like I'll do the like my pulls. I don't hold them like this. I
No?
hold them both in one hand,
Yep.
or I put them behind my neck like this.
Very cool.
To look extra cool.
Very cool.
That's the whole point.
Yep.
That's about as nonchalant as you can be.
You know what I will do? I will put one pull here in front of my stomach,
Uh-huh.
and then I'll keep the other one behind my back.
Ooh, okay.
Pretty cool.
That's
look.
kind of cool.
Not bad. If you're skiing and turning, you can't really do it. But if you're
But if
bombing
you're
down
just-
a cat
if you're
track,
just
Yeah.
cruising.
it's like you're getting
casual
ready
cruise.
to do a 360, and I'll never do one. Like, it's like, oh, he's about to throw one, and I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like you like start to turn going up to a jump, and then you just go past it.
Fakies all day.
Just fakies.
Just tossing
You're like,
fakies.
nah,
No, thought I was gonna.
I
didn't.
could, but I won't.
Uh-uh.
You guys don't deserve it.
So MK snapped his
So
ankle.
MK was not looking cool.
No.
Nor was he snowboarding well.
Well, he
And-
was snowboarding, bro. That's what we should have told him.
I know. Yeah, you gotta
can't
ski.
Fucking snowboard, man.
I mean, he's already gay. Why not just ski?
yeah,
You know?
exactly, dude. His fucking local jokes were getting good as shit too.
I know. He
He
was
was just-
starting to get the jokes on that as like I'm gay, but I'm not so gay that I ski. And
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like it was great.
The Texas, all the local jokes were coming in
Mhm.
nice, and then he blew his ankle out.
And then he blew it out. He basically, it was the same kind of thing. It was like dust on crust, and he caught some ice kind of underneath
Yep.
some powder. And I think he's just such a gigantic fucking goon of a man
Yeah, he's a big.
that he basically, there's the torque from the way he described it and the way that his binding, like, because his toe binding was off. like when it happened. Like he like blew through it, and essentially it was just so much weight like caught on his front edge that I think his like the whole weight of his body just came into his front ankle and just kind of snapped it. Because it's like right where like where you roll your ankle on the outside.
Yeah.
It's like that's where the break is.
Oh my god.
And the doctor said he was like, this break is consistent with like someone who like falls off of like a building.
Wow.
Yeah. Like if you just like land flat and like
Yeah.
just like break your like fucking foot or leg or whatever, that's like what it was like.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Bummer, dude.
Big time bummer. And it was the day of, not only was he coming to work where I work, but also he was supposed to be in the show. It's my show.
Yeah.
Same day.
Yeah.
So
He really let you down by breaking his ankle.
yeah, I was like, you're a real selfish prick,
Yeah,
is what I
dude.
said. I was like, why don't you think about someone besides yourself and your shitty
Before you
ankle?
go out and break your ankle.
Before you go out and break your ankle like a
Selfishly.
fucking complete narcissist.
Yeah.
So
But we did have that show. That was the same day.
that was, yeah.
I went and did the show that night, and I didn't
You
even.
did.
I was like, I ate shit today. I think I told you that. But
Yeah,
I wasn't
you
like,
did.
oh, my neck hurts. I was like, dude, I fell really fucking hard today.
Yeah.
And then the next day, I was like, oh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna be paralyzed from the neck down. And
It
then
must
I'm
just
not
been going
now, so
around.
it's
Yeah, so
Now
you're
I
way
have this
better than MK.
great appreciation for walking in life.
Yeah.
And shout out to all our handicap fans out there.
Yeah. Shout out to the Stars program, big friend of the show.
Sponsored by Stars.
Sponsored by Stars. You can be a star too.
The Star program is handicap kids that ski. They're very, very, very cool.
It's an acronym. I don't know what it stands for.
oh, yeah,
Strong,
turbulent.
turbulent, athletic.
I knew it.
Really
Starry people.
starry people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not sponsored by them
And we're not.
yet.
Yes.
Yet.
Yeah.
Until they hear this clip.
Once they return my emails, I assume they'll say yes, just like strings.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a bummer. Yeah, it must have just been that day. Like it was like super crusty and then some
Yeah.
powder on top. It was catching like edges underneath. But that was a bummer. And then yeah, later that day, we had our last show at
First and last that weekend.
first and last. Did we have? God, when's the last time we had a podcast? Have we done one since Mo was here? When was Mo here?
Mo. I think, yeah. I think
Yeah, no, because
we did
I'm
one.
looking at the calendar behind you. Mo was here the 3rd,
Yeah,
and then the
covered
last
that.
podcast came out on the 8th.
So that was the only show we've done since
Yeah.
the last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
A couple open mics.
I did go since then. I went to California
Cali.
and did a show in Denver, which was interesting. Great times.
Yeah.
I mean, so okay. For those who don't know, who are Fran Dreschers of the show,
Friends of the show. We got a lot of friends of the show.
friends of the show.
That should
I
also
just
be the name of our
combined-
podcast is Friends of the Show.
Yes. That's our spin-off podcast where we just interview people about how great we are.
Interview the 60. That would be 60 episodes.
Yes.
One guest per episode.
Something roughly
Yeah.
like that. But so I've been doing a lot of shows through the Libertarian Party.
I thought you were liberal, bro.
No.
Fucking yeah.
That is the root word of liberal is liberty, which the liberals don't really
get all
fucking
smart, you
love
know.
so much anymore. Doesn't matter. Not to get into it,
Not to get all political.
Not to get all political.
or anything.
but they flew me out to do a show at this event. So what day was that? I'm looking at it. December 11th was the 50th anniversary of the Libertarian Party, like coming into existence.
God bless America
God bless America.
and the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And all
goddamn
them
right.
stars
Do you
and straps.
think you would have got that gig if you didn't have a mustache?
I hope not. Because if not, then what am I doing?
Yeah, that's the whole.
Then what am I even
You
doing?
grew a mustache and became libertarian.
Yes.
like you didn't.
I could like the freedom just oozed out of my face. Like I was a commie until I turned 24 and I could grow a mustache, and then I was just a man.
Like barren arms. That's nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, guns just fell out of the mustache, and I was like, here we go. So they flew me out, but it was more of a like a party thing and less of like a comedy thing,
Yeah.
and so it was really interesting.
What was the show? So it was just like Was it just events set up and you just had a comedy slot?
So they just had like a little party in like an event room. So I flew into Fresno, and across the street from the airport in Fresno was a hotel. And I went to that hotel, and then I went back to the airport, and I flew home. And that was my experience in Fresno, California.
Beautiful.
So
it's a beautiful town. You guys should check it out.
Yeah, I say, incredible. The skyline, unreal. They had a Holiday Inn.
Yeah, I think that's the whole vibe of Fresno, though. You pretty much got it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was kind of like, "Ooh, you going to Fresno?" And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of glad that's. I saw as much as I needed to.
Yeah, beautiful town.
But it was. They just had like I don't know, it was like a fundraiser thing, and they had some tables there, and like one guy gave like a short speech, and there was like dinner, and then they had the comedy show was like the entertainment.
Yeah.
And so I was headlining. I did about 45 minutes.
Did anyone open for you?
Yes. So there was 2 local guys, which apparently came as like a tandem.
Nice.
And this is I've been on the other side of this.
Like a good old comedy duo.
Yeah.
I love it.
But it's interesting. Like, you've gone other places, and it's weird because like the headliner will come in, and a lot of time the headliner's a dick, or they'll have some like remark and shit. Like I won't say the name, but I did Vail Comedy Show, and the headliner, who was average at best, came up to me and Charlie afterwards and was like, "Oh, like, glad you guys did well. Like, you never know what you're gonna get with openers and stuff."
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, "Is that even a compliment? Like, what is this passive aggressive bullshit?"
Well, it's all about them. You never know what you're gonna get with openers. I never know what I'm gonna get with openers.
Yeah.
How's this gonna go for me? It's like, fuck yourself.
My show might not be as good as I'd like it to be.
No.
That chick sucked. But anyways, so I get to California. This is my first time headlining a non-Steamboat comedy thing outside, and so these openers, there was 2 local guys. And apparently they had to come as a tandem. And the one guy was this, like, the first dude was this fat, older, maybe Hispanic maybe native guy. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, we're not here to.
I mean, none of his jokes were about that.
know?
Yeah, I know. I don't see color, so I'm just.
Exactly.
This is what I was told.
Yeah.
So
this was in his vig.
Yeah. So
whatever.
I was just like, I assumed you were white.
Yeah.
Because you're here. There's a libertarian convention.
I assume everyone's black, but that's where we,
Right. And that's why we're the perfect tandem.
Exactly.
Everyone is gray.
Milk and chocolate.
Milk and salt and pepper, baby.
That's right. Salt and pepper, bitch.
So the first guy goes up and just eats a plate of dicks.
Really? Do you remember?
So
no, never
his
mind.
thing
You don't
was-
have to say any jokes.
Well,
I was gonna say, do you remember his opener?
Yeah. Can I write it down?
Yeah.
No, but he just kept being like, he kept making jokes over and over again about fucking kids.
That didn't go well?
Surprisingly.
Wow, people usually love that.
The Andre Martinez approach didn't work for once.
People
and so
didn't
he kept like...
Well, did he try to make fun of cancer after that? And,
There might have been... I mean, I felt like I was getting cancer, so I can't
Yeah.
really tell. But he went up there and was just like... just making a bunch of kids about like jokes about like banging kids and being a creep and stuff, and like people in the audience were like, "Please stop! Like, what are we doing here?" And he did probably about 10 minutes, and then his buddy of the duo came up, who was also kind of like a little bit older, heavyset guy, but just kind of like a like I don't know, white guy with a
Portuguese.
beard.
Yeah.
Like he was like an ex-military guy. So I had
Wow.
like that like stocky thing going on, and he just started out just by lighting up his buddy. And just like
Nice.
just shitting all over him. So I was like, okay, well, I don't have to do that anymore.
Nice.
Which it sucked though, because I was like, well, I kind of want to.
Yeah,
It's like you just took 5 minutes away from me
Still
because I
can.
wanted to shit on that guy. But he must. The impression I got is that he just like brings his buddy around to shit on him, and then that's his opener.
That's
so,
his 5 minutes.
So
up
he's
top.
always gonna do well in comparison, and he did okay. But then he started doing jokes about like his son and how he like beats his son and shit.
Nice.
And so I went up
Nice.
there. The first thing I was like give it up for dude and another dude. I was like, you'll see him on the Chuck E. Cheese tour. coming
Yeah,
up
bro.
This year.
Jesus.
The Nickelodeon fucking.
One of them will hit your
Splat
kids
tour.
and the other one will fuck them.
Yeah. One will knock him out. The other one will fuck him.
Jesus Christ.
So it was bizarre. And then
So try to write jokes about fucking kids.
yeah,
so.
it always goes well.
Any aspiring open micers out there,
Yeah.
try to
If
to
I
write.
could give you any piece of advice, kid fucking primo material.
It's the primo of the comedy
Yeah.
stuff.
It can't ever backfire at all. And so I did probably about 40 minutes. And it went good. It went well. It was kind of up and down. It was a weird room. It wasn't like a comedy show. It was just like people who just ate dinner to like donate to like this fundraiser.
There was no brick wall.
Yeah, and they're like ha 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 ha. But it was good. Like it went well. And the important thing is
they liked you.
So they liked me, and
I got paid.
The
important thing is,
and I got paid.
Yeah.
Actually, all they did was cover my flight and my hotel. So it was just like a free, basically like opportunity vacation thing. They did make me pay for my own drinks, which pissed me off.
That's fucked up. That's like the number one thing you want.
I was like,
covered.
come on, just like throw me like an extra $20.
It's not very libertarian
but
of them.
People were buying me drinks, so it was fine.
Okay.
But the chick who brought me out there, her name is Angela McCardle, and she's the head of the Los Angeles party chapter, whatever. But she's about to be the head of the national party, like the whole thing.
Okay.
Like, she's going to run and she's going to win in a landslide is basically what's going to happen. But she's like, she more or less said, I want you to come out and do this shit all over the country all the time.
Nice.
And I was like, okay.
For sure. Can you get a little better audience for the next ones? And some
Well,
openers, please.
But so to the next night, though, I went to Denver, and Robbie was there. And Robbie has kind of his own, a similar following, but it's like off a podcast.
Yeah.
And so it was like a sold-out room, 100-plus people, all young people. Everyone there was probably under 30, 35.
Yeah.
Packed to the gills and just fucking crushed, dude. It was so fun.
Fuck.
It was amazing.
How much did you do?
I did, I think 15 or 20 there.
Nice. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, super awesome. So like, well, the night before was like weird, but that opened a lot of doors, and then the next day I got to actually like fucking throw it out and have a good time. So yeah, it was an awesome weekend, and I'm hoping I can get some more opportunities out of it.
You can.
Yeah. I already told you that I want you to come with me to Porkfest next year.
I want to go to Porkfest.
Dude, Porkfest is so awesome.
I'll go to Porkfest.
Fuck it.
You got to let me know 2 years in advance. So
Well,
I don't really leave a lot.
It's in May? Is that what it was? March? May? Something with an M. One of the months starts with an M.
Hopefully May.
I think May.
I think it was May. I think you went last May. I'd go to Porkfest, dude. Do I have to submit a video?
It's a sore subject. I don't think so. We'll see. That's a little ways out, but I've already somewhat been confirmed. I've also been contacted to go back to Texas again next summer too.
Nice. For the Lesbos?
Not for Lesbos.
I thought that was the name of the place.
Lesbos?
I thought that's where you performed.
I performed, well, I guess, so that was the second time.
Okay.
So the first time I went to Texas was for Childeberg, which is a little festival that's coming up.
Little festy.
Little festy.
That's what we call it in the biz.
Yeah.
Little festy, little commie festy.
Yeah, little comedy.
No, comedy. Little communist festival.
It's a communist festival.
It's the libertarian and communist festivals.
It's there's a lot of tension.
Yeah, you gotta have balance, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta have
the
balance.
yin and the yang.
The yin, yep.
The liberty, the commie, all together in one
As
peaceful
one.
harmony.
Yep, and
So
that's how we will finally make it through this COVID thing. God, dude.
You need to find balance, dude. COVID hates balance. But anyway, so that'll all be cool shit coming up. Trying to think what else has happened. I'm trying to I'm looking at the calendar over.
Oh, we did the show on Saturday.
We did the show on Saturday.
Great
our
show.
most recent show. Great show.
Great turnout.
Great turnout.
Show. It was just a single show. Usually we do the Friday, Saturday.
Yep.
This time we only did the Saturday, which was kind of nice.
Yeah.
All or nothing, baby.
So it's been a Steamboat Comedy tradition to do a New Year's Eve show.
Yep.
And unfortunately, that fell through this year.
Which is fine.
I mean,
It's okay.
Honestly, fuck, dude. I've been so goddamn busy.
Yeah.
It was fine.
It was fine. It was a nice little show.
It was a good little show.
Yeah.
Just for like a low ticket sales, MK was gonna headline. He died of COVID, and then COVID of the ankle.
To chop his ankle off.
Friend of the show, Mark Masters, came in and filled in.
Friend of the show,
real gentleman.
Mark
made the trip up at the last
first thing
minute.
he said when he came in, he's like, "That was a terrifying drive." He's like, "I've been driving in the mountains for 20 years, and that was terrifying."
And you're like, "Cool, we'll go tell some jokes and then do it again."
Yeah, dude, go wipe the sweat off your forehead and tell some jokes.
Tell us some fucking jokes, and then get back in your car and get the fuck out of here.
Fuck, dude, that was a wicked night too. Just driving weather-wise.
It was
It's
gnarly.
like 2 degrees out. Icy as a box, dude.
It's been dumping here.
I know. It's lit. Global warming.
It's global warming, dude.
And you gotta factor that into the whole COVID thing we got going on now, too, with the communists and the libertarians.
Oh, my God. That's the yin and the yang. That's the commie COVID and the libertarian
Global
warming coming together.
As one.
Unifying
branch, if you will.
That's the tree.
Yep.
Is water. The roots are COVID and global warming, and what sprouts is commies and libertarians.
The root of the water is COVID.
Yes. It's the blood of the
Maybe that's where we're going wrong, is we need to embrace the COVID.
Yeah.
Make the COVID feel welcome.
Yes.
And then it would want to leave.
Yeah.
Wow. We've been spending so much time trying to push COVID off. No COVID, no COVID. Maybe you have. I know you have. Yes, COVID.
Yes. I mean, it's like an ex-girlfriend. You know what I mean?
I get the joke now, Kyle. I get your joke now.
Thank you.
4 more years.
You're welcome. 4 more years.
I get it
I'm
now.
the only one trying to solve this. If we elect COVID president,
you should throw that in there.
Then
You should throw that line at least.
Am I the only one who cares?
Trying to solve this. Maybe it's worth a shot. I mean, at this point, dude.
At this point, I mean, nothing apparently works.
No, not a thing. You can eat as many broccoli salads as you want.
No,
you're still getting COVID.
You're
Although I've heard the Omicron variant is a fucking pussy, dude.
It's a little bitch ass COVID.
Hasn't killed anyone yet.
I mean, it's killed as many people as Alec Baldwin, which is one person.
Bingo.
There
Bango.
That's a meme I read. I'm not funny.
No, absolutely not. I want to go to Alec Baldwin's one-man show.
I also just...
I heard it's killer.
Hey!
Alec Baldwin, you get it.
Hey.
Comedy.
Hey, I'd give it a shot.
Hey!
Whoa! Heard it's a real blast.
Yeah,
All
just
right.
don't sit right in front.
Did he shoot the one chick I shot like in the face, and it like went through her face and hit the next person? Isn't that what happened?
So I think it hit like the director and then the director of photography or something, and they were both standing. They were kissing each other's necks or something. I don't know.
They went right through both their necks.
Show business, dude.
It's fucking. It was probably
Show business.
like handing the child on a leash to the other person.
Yeah.
And as she leaned down, it went through her neck and into barely missed the sex slave.
Real JFK type shot. It sounds like though.
Yeah.
Through one person into another.
Real magic bullet.
We haven't gotten that in a while.
I mean, I always thought it was Alec Baldwin in the grassy knoll, but
could have been.
That's
another theory.
Can't
we
prove
should.
It's not.
Well, we're just bringing it to the people. Up to you guys to decide. If Alec Baldwin
hit us up
killed
at
JFK.
steamboatcomedy.com. We had a fan poll. Was it Alec Baldwin in the grassy knoll? Yes or no?
And if yes, why did he do it?
What's he doing?
Why did he do it?
What's the deal with this Alec Baldwin guy?
That's fucking retarded.
That's what we do here. That's why we're the best in the boat, baby. Figuring out the tough questions.
Just if they had just only had like one person on that set, I could have been like, "Can I see that gun? Hey, I think there's a bullet in this. I know something about guns.
Right.
Don't shoot this at anyone."
Right. But they're all cowardly.
But they're all like, "No way.
Guns
No
are
guns."
bad. The only guy they have, the guy in charge of their guns is
It's Carrot Top.
A prop manager. It's Carrot Top.
It's Carrot
yes.
Top. You don't know shit about guns.
They don't know shit about guns. They don't know shit about anything.
Yeah, if they just had one person like from the NRA in there, they'd be like, "Hey, can you like make
They
sure?"
hired one Republican.
Yeah, just one Republican.
Just one Republican.
Just be like, don't really talk or say anything on the set, but like the scenes with the guns, we're just gonna have you look at them first.
Yeah,
if that's okay.
And he's literally just a farmer from Iowa.
Yeah,
like he has no other formal training, and he's like, "Oh yeah, there's a bullet
He's just
here."
spitting tobacco on the set.
He's got a piece of straw coming out of his mouth in overalls, and he's just like, "There's a bullet in there."
That one's good.
That one's wrong. I think this one's all right.
That one's good. There's a little something in this one.
There's a little something in this one. Oh, that's a bullet.
Just one person. That's all they need. But what do we know, Kyle? What do we know?
What do we know?
I don't know anything.
I mean, we know a lot about Spider-Man.
Oh, I know. I do know a lot about Spider-Man.
So we got to talk about Spider-Man.
God, we both saw the new movie separately, not together, unfortunately. But we both saw it.
I did see with Reed Belmonte, who can't be here tonight because
that was his second time.
It was his second.
Because he was at the showing that I was at.
He was.
How many times has he seen it?
So literally, when I did the Veil comedy show. That's another thing that happened here. Again, shout out to Mark Masters, friend of the show. I did Vail Comedy Show. That was Thursday the 16th. And as I was leaving town, Jared texted me and was like, hey, you want to go see Spider-Man? And I was like, no, I can't. I'm doing Vail Comedy Show. And he's like, oh, okay. And then I get back. 2 days later, I found out they all went and saw Spider-Man without me.
Yeah.
And I was like, you motherfuckers. And so I was like starting to feel sick. This is like right before I tested positive for COVID.
But you felt sick because you hadn't seen Spider-Man.
I know. I was literally sick to my stomach
God,
from the FOMO of missing Spider-Man. And I was like, I need to cure this illness. I was like, I'm gonna go see Spider-Man by myself.
Sick as a dog.
I was like, I'm gonna die of lack of Spider-Man in my life, and so I was like, I'm going, and I'm gonna go see it by myself. And Rita was like, oh, no, I really want to see it with you. And I was like, you had your chance. You fucking Benedict Arnold, you traitor, you Judas.
And then he saw it with you.
And he was like, oh, okay. And then so he came with me.
What a good friend.
He's a great friend.
What a good friend.
Shout out to Reed Belmonte.
Shout out to Reed. Hope he feels better.
Show. Yeah. He's got COVID #2 in the last 2 weeks. Apparently.
It's probably just the flu. I got do you remember I got the flu
that doesn't exist
a couple
anymore,
weeks ago.
man.
It does.
Yeah.
And it was worse than COVID.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that, but it was.
You can't compare
knocked
it.
me down.
We're just lost our YouTube page.
Yeah, yeah, did we?
Probably.
Fuck, it's all right. We never had it. Shout out to MK Paulsen.
Shout out to MK Paulsen in front of the show.
No, I did. I got the flu, and I was like, I got COVID, so I got tested, and they're like, no, it's just the flu. And then I felt like shit for 2 days.
The flu's a bastard.
And I was like, COVID, I just couldn't taste anything. Big deal. Made me
I can't taste
made me
my
eat
food.
healthier. Oh God, didn't want to have chocolate because I couldn't taste it. Fucking crybabies,
Is that what you did?
all
You
of you.
Eat a bunch of like Brussels sprouts and like healthy things.
Yeah, just like brown rice and
Just brown
fucking
rice.
just like the frozen vegetables. I can't do the raw vegetables.
No, you gotta have them frozen.
Well, I can, but it's just such a hassle. Like we've
Gotta
already
cut 'em
talked
all
about
up.
the air fryer.
Well,
When you have the frozen ones in the bag,
You just chuck 'em in the
dump
air
those
fryer.
in the air fryer and you're good to go in 7 minutes.
That's such a good call.
And I'm not gonna risk it going bad and then chopping it and be like, I gotta eat 4 pounds of broccoli or it's gonna go bad.
That's a good point because all of my broccoli goes bad all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I hate buying broccoli because it goes bad. Why don't I just buy frozen broccoli?
Just because I think the thing with the frozen thing is like, oh, it loses some of its nutrients when you freeze it, and it's like, I wasn't gonna eat vegetables anyway. So like, this is better than
It's
nothing.
either this or it's McDonald's. So
yeah,
what are we doing?
This is fucking. But Spider-Man
Thank
was fucking fantastic.
It was so good.
God damn it, I
So-
loved it so much.
For those of you who have not seen Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man 3 2, I don't know how you say
Yeah,
that. Spider-Man
Homecoming?
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
No Way Home. Yeah,
So good.
unbelievable.
Unbelievable. But spoiler alert, if you haven't heard it, then you might want to shut your ears or just deal with it.
Yeah, or you can, but skip ahead about 45 minutes because this is what we're
Because we're about to unload,
no,
baby.
No. But I went and saw it the opening day, and it was the first, like, not to bring up COVID again, the first, like, fucking premiere, like, I went to since COVID. I was like, what's it going to be like? 'Cause everyone was a stud. No one gave a shit about COVID.
Fuck yeah, dude.
We all went in there.
Men.
Everyone was watching the performance.
Everyone was-
That was the movie itself was great, but the ambiance of the crowd and the laughter
Had the
and the
crowd into it,
clapping,
yeah.
I was like, this is why fucking movie theaters have made it
Yes.
this far, and it was
Absolutely.
fucking
But
fantastic.
it wasn't too much where it was people who were like, oh my God, and like saying shit like that where you have to be like, dude, shut up.
No, it was
like,
a bunch of
clapping at
respectful,
appropriate times.
Yeah, bunch
Yeah.
of laughing, bunch of hooting and hollering at appropriate times.
Yeah.
I feel like if there was someone in there that was gonna ruin it,
Yeah.
10 of us would have been like, we're gonna Spider-Man
I'm gonna
your
just-
ass
yeah.
right now,
I'm
bro.
gonna web your mouth
I'm gonna
shut,
tangle you up, dude. This is the wrong
You
crowd.
wanna get tangled,
This
dude?
is the
Because I will
wrong-
tangle you up.
Spider-Man should say that more often. I'm gonna
Yeah.
tangle you up, bro.
Bro, I'm gonna tangle you up.
Goblin, I'm gonna get you tangled. But the ambience. I left feeling inspired.
Okay,
Like we're gonna make it. Movie theaters
Spider-Man's
will
gonna
prevail.
solve COVID.
I left looking forward to the new Batman movie. I was like, I can't wait to see that premiere.
As much as I'm like starting to get to the point where like, even though I love all these comic book movies, I'm like, really, they're doing another Batman? But I am gonna see it. I'm gonna watch the shit out of it. It looks so awesome.
I hear what you're saying.
It looks so good.
It's like another one, but it's like, oh, it's a new actor.
It's
So
like
I'll check it out.
it's like if they were to pull me, I'd be like, really? I can't believe they're doing this again. And then they're like, are you going to see it? I'm like, of course I'm going to see it.
Of course I'm going to see it. That trailer looked sick.
It looks so good.
So good, bro. With the fucking car flipping from that angle. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, yep.
Looks fantastic.
And they're going to do the Riddler right. You know what I mean?
I think so.
Because
they've
the
been
only
very
time
provocative with him in the trailers so far, though.
they haven't even shown him. It's just like little clues. Well, that's the whole point. Is they're gonna make it more of like a mystery thing. You know,
that's the Riddler.
Like it's gonna be like the old Batman where he's. Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I'll take some nicotine.
A little nicotine.
Brought to you by whatever this is, Zyn.
Zyn. I think it's giving me throat cancer, but we're sponsored, so
what's nice? I gotta do it.
We're sponsored, so fuck it.
The
Spider-Man though.
Okay, yeah.
Should we get into spoilers and shit? Now we're gonna like spoil.
This is legit
stuff.
spoiler alert.
All right, it's happening. The fucking way they brought the other two in.
Yeah.
I was like, that was awesome.
Unreal.
I was like, how are they gonna do it? How the fuck are they gonna do this? And the way they brought him in and how funny those fucking scenes were when they first.
Dude.
I was like, this is a fucking hilarious movie, dude.
Yeah.
Garfield. Super fucking funny.
So like this, it just made me think about like how much Andrew Garfield's talent was wasted in the Amazing Spider-Man movies because those movies sucked. They were so average. You know what I mean?
I liked them, but I love any Spider-Man I'll watch. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
But I agree. Those were because I was a Tobey Maguire guy.
Yeah.
Growing up, well, obviously everyone was. That's who we were looking forward to most.
Oh yeah.
But I left the theater going, Andrew Garfield stole the fucking show.
Movie. He was by far the best Spider-Man out of the three. He was the funniest. He had the most personality. He had the best lines.
He saved the day.
Oh my god! So I gotta quit saying spoiler. I guess we already did it.
Yeah,
so there's
the
scene where Peter Parker first meets Peter Parker and Peter Parker, and they're talking about like they're
on
like
the rooftop.
On the rooftop.
Yeah.
And they're talking about their mutual heartbreak, and he starts talking about how Gwen died, how Gwen Stefani died in his arms.
Yeah.
And he was
she was like, I if I was a rich girl.
Yeah.
she was dying.
She was a girl in the world.
Yeah.
That's all that he'd let her be. And so he starts talking about, and he's like, he like breaks down and is like crying, and like, he's like that was the first thing he did. Well, I guess the second. So the first was when they're in the living room,
and he was just being fucking hilarious.
Everything
hilarious. He did,
he's hanging from his fingertips.
His
and shit
timing,
on the ceiling.
his fucking the lines were written great, but
perfect.
He performed it fucking
yes.
So he was hilarious, and then he showed you emotion. The next scene,
in the next one, it was like, I mean, Tom Holland's a great actor.
Yep,
and Toby's good.
He's my Spider-Man though,
so
I'm always gonna
love
be like
Toby.
Team Toby.
He's fucking Tobes, dude.
And
he's my
sidebar,
man.
have you ever seen that? Not the Queen's Gambit, but the other Molly's Game.
Molly's Game.
Have you ever seen that movie Molly's Game?
No.
It's about this chick that puts on a fucking big poker game for these fucking high LA celebrity folk, and one of them's a super big douchebag. And in the movie, it was Michael Cera, but Michael Cera's portraying Tobey Maguire. So Tobey Maguire would go to these poker games and just take everyone's fucking money and talk shit to everyone.
Really? Like that's a true story?
Yeah, you got to watch Molly's Game.
That's amazing.
So it's a pretty good movie too. But after I watched it, I was like, "Who the fuck is Michael Cera portraying?" And then I called my brother, and he's like, "Oh, that's Tobey Maguire."
What?
I was like, "That's
how
fucking
How did
awesome."
your brother know that?
I saw it because my brother's more of a comic book nerd than I am.
Okay.
He's a fucking. He knows all this shit. Like, I told him, I was like, dude, go see Spider-Man because he hadn't seen it yet. And he's like, I'll go. And just like you, he's like, I'm going to go see it by myself. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And then he'll go home and just 2 hours straight looking at shit on the internet.
Just looking at trivia and shit.
Yeah. And he was the one that told me to watch it. And I was like, what? Okay, who is that? And he's like, it's Tobey Maguire. And
That's
like,
hilarious.
That makes me like him a little bit more.
Bullying
these people. But to take it back,
okay.
Big Tobey Maguire fan. Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield was he had the best range in that he had the best emotion when like talking about Gwen, like it was so believable. And then at the towards the end, the climax, when fucking MJ, she's not Mary Jane anymore. Yeah. She's like
politically
Miranda
correct,
Jones or something like that.
MJ
falls and Tom Holland goes to go for her and gets knocked out of the way, and he goes and he saves her
properly,
just like he should have saved Gwen.
Yeah,
and then like catches her at the end, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like choked up.
Yeah, he asks her if she's okay, and then she goes, "Are you okay?" And he's like,
"Dude, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it."
So when that scene happened,
it was so perfect.
When that scene happened, because Tom Holland goes to get her, and then Green Goblin takes him out.
Yeah.
And as that happened, I was the guy in the movie theater that went, Garfield's got this, bro.
Garfield.
And the whole crowd was like, yeah, dude. Yeah, it was so sick.
Oh my god, I think I welled up a little bit. When
That was
I was like, ah!
That was my favorite scene for sure.
It was
Garfield's redemption.
Garfield's
That's what
redemption.
I've been calling it.
Absolutely, that was like when Garfield finally conquers Mondays. You know what I mean?
He did it,
Garfield's
bro.
redemption.
The scene where they all meet and they're all like, no, I've fucking lost someone too.
Yeah.
And then Toby's like, bro, they all said the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Great scene to bring it together.
Amazing scene.
I did like Toby though too. His
Toby was great.
blatant optimism and like
he played the old man like I've been doing this for a long time.
and he's the most optimistic out of all of them, which is I think is a very Spider-Man characteristic that they honed in on.
Well, he had gone through the most movies and bad guys at that point.
Yeah,
Any of them.
and he was the oldest, and he was like, "This is what being
wisest.
Spider-Man is about." I'm
Yeah.
still super optimistic when he's
Yeah.
like telling Garfield, he's like, "No, you're amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You got to stop having this bad self-talk."
Well, it's funny because he kept calling him amazing because his movies were the Amazing
Yeah.
Spider-Man. That was like a fun little Easter egg there.
Oh,
But
it
then
was
when they were
great.
talking about all the bad guys they fought, that
Yeah.
was Garfield's best line too.
Yeah.
It's because they were like, he's like, I never fought anyone from space. Like I've never been to space, and he's like all bummed out.
Yeah.
Like, well, who have you fought? And he's like, I fought a Russian guy in a rhino machine.
I haven't done anything. And then that's when Toby was like, "You got to stop having this bad self-talk, man. You're amazing."
Yeah, dude. I just love the way he phrased rhino machine. That cracked me. Not a rhino suit. He's like, I fought a guy in a rhino machine.
Yeah.
that killed me.
Well,
It was
weren't
so funny.
No, I guess because they went with the original Green Goblin. I was gonna say, didn't they do both Amazing Spider-Man's villains, but they only did the
Yeah, so the bad guys they left out Topher Grace's Venom, which they did because of the post-credit scenes was Tom Hardy's Venom.
Yep.
Which is way better. And Topher Grace, that was like the shittiest Venom ever. And then
It wasn't great.
it was terrible.
It wasn't great.
And they left out there's another one
Amazing
from,
Spider-Man's Green Goblin, or Goblin is what they called him. I don't even think they called him Green Goblin.
I even forgot he was there.
Yeah,
That's how fucking bad
that
he
hairy.
was. The guy, because he was there with Shocker or Electro, excuse me.
Yep. Yeah.
And they also left out James Franco's Hobgoblin.
They couldn't have that many goblins.
There's
in
too
there.
many goblins.
Did they call him Hobgoblin though, or did they just call him Goblin too? Because I was talking with my buddy. I was like, I don't even
remember.
think they've done a Hobgoblin.
Because
yet.
that's how it was in the show. Was it was the Hobgoblin was the predecessor to or not predecessor, but he was the incumbent, if you will.
Yeah.
After the Green Goblin, it was Green Goblin and then Hobgoblin.
And from the cartoon, not to get too, but I grew up watching the cartoon,
Me
and
too.
it was
It's on Disney Plus. So you can watch it.
That's
It's so
fucking
good.
awesome. Yeah, and it was the Hobgoblin was Harry, so it was the Green Goblin's son
Yes.
in the cartoon at least.
Yes,
The
and that's
fucking-
what they more or less did. I don't know if they called him the Hobgoblin, but
Yeah.
that's what they did with
give
James
him
Franco's
an
character.
orange suit.
Yeah,
Fuck.
give him a different suit.
You know how long I've been waiting for a Hobgoblin? Give him an orange suit,
Give me
dude.
a
Just
Hobgoblin.
give one of them an orange suit, and I'll be happy.
Yes, and then I'll be satisfied. And I think those are the only two left out. Now that I think about it, because they brought back the Lizard
Yep.
and they brought back
Sandman.
Sandman, and they had all the original actors. And dude, how fucking good is Willem Dafoe?
Jesus
Willem Dafoe,
Christ.
and I was just talking. I can't remember the guy.
Doc Ock.
The guy who plays Doc Ock.
Can't remember his
He
name
might
either.
have been the second best fucking stealing of the show.
He was an
besides-
integral part of the whole storyline, though.
integral part, and
Yeah.
just he played the like crazy and then the turn like so well.
Yeah.
and it makes you like forget about what a great character Doc Ock is.
Yeah,
And I love too when he was like, he's like, I'm Dr. Octavius, and they're like, nuh-uh.
That's not your real
Like,
name.
that's not. That's a
Uh-uh.
Doc Ock, like with 8 arms, like that's made up.
The scene where all the villains get put into the cage.
Yes, and they're all-
Hilarious.
dude. So good.
They're all talking. I was like, dude, this is one of the funnier movies I've seen in a long fucking
Well, it's
time.
so clever because they're not afraid to like address the elephant in the room when
No.
something is silly, and I love that they address the meme of Green Goblin when he's like, I'm something of a scientist
Yeah,
myself.
dude.
That was
Yes.
so good.
They dropped all the lines, all the most famous lines. They
Yep.
brought those fucking
Yep.
back.
Mhm.
It was fantastic. Willem Dafoe absolutely kills it. What's her face? The actress that plays MJ. I wasn't a big Zendaya. First two Tom Holland ones, I was like,
She's all right.
it's like who's it? I was
She
like,
plays a quirky kind of awkward chick.
yeah,
well.
at least give her a red stripe in the hair. Give us a nugget, give us something. And then this, This movie, I was like, I'm a fan. She's
good.
She got me on this
She's
one.
great.
She fucking did it.
And
Zendaya.
it's also fun that like Tom Holland and her are actually like dating in real life.
Yeah, see how that works out.
Yeah.
Have you seen that
Very
other
young.
because Toby and Kirsten Dunst dated for a little bit, and then Garfield and fucking
and Emma Stone.
Emma Stone
They
dated for a
little
while.
bit too. Yeah.
I was like, that's a little meta right there,
It kind
dude.
of is.
It's a little
Wow,
that
that's
is the
excellent.
Spider-Man path.
Just something about being Spider-Man.
You're all doing the same thing.
Right.
Well, that's meta. That's a good fan theory. Someone should write that down.
That's into the next Spider-Verse thing.
And the end when he's just kicking the shit out of him. That choreography was fantastic.
so good.
He was just the punches, and the violence that he was portraying. I
Yeah.
was like, that's fucking
like real fucking like rage.
yeah, dude.
And also like on that note, Marissa Tomei
Yep.
did a great job. Like her death scene where she's like trying to play it off like, oh no, I'm fine and
Yeah.
stuff. And it's like you're like, oh no, you're fucked.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the whole time
and then
you're
she
like-
drops the line, the responsibility
Oh,
line.
of course, she's got to drop the responsibility.
Dude, when
line.
she did that in the theater, everyone goes, no. Because everyone knew she was going to
Knew
die.
she was dead.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
you're
oh,
fucked. You're done.
Dude.
Stick a fork in her.
No. Yeah. Prior to that, though, before she died, though, when Green Goblin and Spider-Man were fighting, like, in the hallway,
Yeah.
and Spider-Man's punching him in the face, and Willem Dafoe's just laughing.
Just laughing in
I was
his
like,
face.
this is fucking good.
Dude, Willem Dafoe is such a fucking unbelievable actor. He's so awesome.
Yeah, it's best supporting actor for that role,
Oh,
for a
God.
Spider-Man movie.
I think he should
give
be,
it to him.
I'd give him a nod. I'd
yeah,
give him a nod.
yeah, we're just a bunch of
I'd give Garfield a nod. I'd give
COVID-denying fucking nerds, though. What do we know?
Yeah, right. We're not Hollywood pedophiles. If they don't give Garfield and Dafoe both Best Supporting Actor nods, then what are the Academy Awards? Then what are they?
They're nonsense, by the way. They're nothing. But here's how good Andrew Garfield's acting was in Spider-Man. I went home, and a day later, I watched Hacksaw Ridge. Just 'cause I was like, I need more Garfield.
I never saw that movie. Is it good?
His acting is fantastic.
He's so good. He's such an underrated. I think like he's just had bad movies.
Yeah.
Because like those Spider-Man movies, that was like, oh, that's his shot, and then those movies sucked.
And his
they did
acting's
not.
still good in him.
Oh, of course it is. They just didn't make him funny enough.
Yep.
I felt like what they did. This is like giving me flashbacks to the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Is they just put him and Emma Stone in a room together, and they're like, you guys are both so funny, just like ad lib, and it was like, meh.
And they're like, we usually have people write this shit
Yeah,
for
they're
us.
like I'm really
Seth
good.
Rogen usually. Emma's like, Seth
Yeah.
Rogen wrote my whole shit.
Is Bill Hader here to
Yeah.
write me some lines,
Holy
please?
shit.
But yeah, I think he's just had bad fucking movies. But he is so good. Oh my god,
Yeah.
he was so good in that movie.
He really doesn't have that many other good movies. I mean,
he's still
give me
young.
A good
He's a young
Andrew
dude.
Garfield movie, I would say. Acting, check out Hacksaw Ridge
Okay.
and the new Spider-Man.
I'll check that out. Yeah,
know what
that's
I
all you
mean?
need. That's prime time
That's it.
Garfield.
But he needs some more.
He needs some more. I think
Give
he's
him
gonna
some
get
more.
some more after this movie. The internet is abuzz.
And
with
you know what's
Garfield.
going to help him? Us talking about him right here. That's going to give him a lot of buzz.
Everyone do hashtag Steamboat Comedy Andrew Garfield.
Yeah,
and we're gonna
get him on the show.
he's gonna win best of the boat. He's gonna win best actor of the boat next
Yep.
year.
He's going to push out whoever won it. Whatever phony
I don't
won
know
it.
who won it.
I don't even know if we have actors here.
They had a category for best community actor, and I was like, well, the Chief Theater doesn't exist, so who the fuck are you gonna give this to? I was kind of upset. I was like, I thought someone would nominate one of us, but
Yeah.
it didn't happen.
We're
Okay.
up there. We're up there. It looks like we're having fun, doesn't it?
But we're not
Acting.
acting. Yeah.
Right.
I'm actually horribly depressed every
Yeah,
time I'm on
hate
stage.
it all the time. I
And
don't
that's
know why
showbiz, baby.
we do it. No, man.
Oh my god, I don't know. Any other closing thoughts on Spider-Man?
I just want to see it again.
I'll-
That's
I'll-
literally it. I was like, I want to see it one more time.
Is
in
it on
theaters.
Disney Plus yet? Because we should just like stop this and go watch it again.
It's not yet. No, it's still in theaters, which is one of the first movies to be like, we're not putting it in a while. To be like, we're not putting it on any streaming platform. We're only releasing it in movies.
Yeah, because it was that
See
big
how it
of a
works,
fucking
and it
movie.
grossed fucking a
a bajillion
ton of
dollars,
money.
dude.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And it's inspiring.
Ugh.
All of it. The
It was
movie, the revenue it got, the fact that movies are still going to be fucking
Yeah.
happening in theaters.
I've been
It
able
was
to think
inspiring.
not since The Dark Knight, because I saw The Dark Knight like 3 times in theaters.
Fuck yes, dude.
Not since The Dark Knight have I been like, oh, like that, like blown away.
It's fucking wild you say that, because I had this conversation where I was like, last time I remember audience reactions like that was when Heath Ledger took his mask off for the first time in The Dark Knight, and the
Yeah.
crowd fucking applauded. And I was
Dude.
like, that was like the last time it was this interactive.
Dude, The Dark Knight was so good.
Going back to like, why do they need to do more Batmans? They don't, because the Dark Knight series was it.
That was it.
Those 3 movies.
God damn it. Well, it's just fucking DC and try to do their like, oh, we can do a universe like Marvel does, except for they suck.
Yep.
Oh my God, did you
I mean,
see?
you got Aquaman carrying the team. It's like, come on, bro.
Did you see like the extended version of
The Snyder Cut.
Yeah, the Snyder Cut?
I did. I watched it in like 4 sittings because it was that long.
I mean, it's like 4 hours long.
Wildly long.
And it was way better than the first one because they cut out like everything.
I didn't watch the first one. I just watched the extended version.
That's same here.
I liked it.
I was just watching it with Reed, and he was like, "This wasn't in it. This wasn't in it." And I was like, "What are you talking about? This wasn't in it."
How did this movie make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was self-indulgent to be that long.
Yeah. Well, they should have just
But
made 2
Aquaman's
fucking
dope.
movies.
Jason Momoa is pretty cool.
Jason
I know
Momoa
he's
is-
a heartthrob, and everyone wants to blow him and shit. But I like him as Aquaman.
Speaking of Zendaya and fucking Momoa, you saw Dune, and
Yep.
we've talked about Dune on the podcast.
Yeah, yep.
After watching Dune, I'm just like, Momoa is not as good as people want him to be.
Yeah.
He's just not.
He's too buff.
Well, he just he
Lose some
tries to
weight.
play the cool guy, but he's not like quite funny. He's not affable enough to be the cool guy.
He will come out with a buddy comedy in the next 2 years. Just wait.
Dude.
Just wait.
You are so right.
Mark my words.
It's gonna be like him and Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah.
They're just gonna do Due Date 2. And
They're
it's
gonna
be
yeah,
those
Due
two
Date 2,
guys.
or it's gonna be like The Rock and whatever Kevin Hart are doing. Like they'll just they'll team him up with someone super funny.
Yeah.
Be like, no, he can carry his own weight. It's like The Rock can't. No, Kevin Hart blows him out of the water.
Of course.
He does.
I do like The Rock. I think The Rock is funny.
He's funny, but without Kevin Hart in those movies,
No, of course not.
you're nothing.
Yeah.
What's a good funny The Rock movie?
He was very funny in the first Jumanji when I saw it because he
Who else is
plays
in
like
that?
a nerdy Kevin
Hart.
You're right,
Uh-huh.
but I mean like him by himself because he's playing like he's a big buff guy, but like he's inside like a really nerdy guy and he's like nervous all the time. And
Yeah.
he plays that very
That
well.
was pretty funny. I saw that
He
one.
did that well. And Jack Black steals the show in that movie.
God.
though. Jack Black just always.
We could talk
steals the
about
show.
Jack Black for hours.
Oh my God, we were
bro.
talking about Tenacious D. We were listening to Tenacious D today at work.
Of course.
And it was fantastic.
Tenacious D. Despite their last album, not really.
Was the Rise of the Phoenix?
Yeah, flicking my bean too much. But I'll die on the hill that Tenacious D is a great rock band.
I love them. Well, it's not just because I remember this guy in college who was like, Tenacious D sucks, and I was like, why? He's like, oh, they just say fucking or like they just cuss a lot and talk about like dicks and stuff. I'm like, yeah, but it's also like it's silly, but it's also good music.
Dude, those
They rock hard.
the riffs Kyle is playing on
Oh
an
my God.
acoustic guitar. You're like, what that's not normal.
The guitar solo in Wonder Boy is
Yeah.
like 40 seconds long, and it's the best guitar solo.
Fucking beautiful.
It's so good.
They literally have a song called Classico.
Oh yeah, Classico is great.
KG playing classical fucking music, dude. It's
Yeah,
like, that's
oh, yeah.
pretty fucking badass.
So badass.
Jack Black in Tropic Thunder, probably one of the best comedic performances.
But he was upstaged by Robert Downey Jr.
You think?
I mean, he's still great because
Yeah.
Tropic Thunder is one of the funniest movies ever. Like we were just talking about it before we came in about fucking your favorite movies, like favorite comedy movies.
I Love You Man is mine, but we'll get into that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Great movie. But Tropic Thunder is probably top 5.
It's packed though.
It's packed.
The
It's-
fucking star power they have in that movie, that's a dangerous fucking plank to walk on. You
But
have
also-
too
so-
many stars in it.
We were talking about like how Garfield should get a fucking Oscar nod. Robert Downey Jr. got an Oscar nomination for Tropic Thunder. Did you know that? It's like one of the only comedic roles to get a Best Supporting Actor nod. Do you know who he lost to?
What year was it? 2009?
2007, I want to say.
2007.
2008.
Best Supporting. Who'd he lose to?
Guess. We already mentioned him on this podcast.
God damn it. Not Willem Dafoe.
Nope.
Not
It was a bad guy in a comic book movie.
not
He won it.
not Topher Grace.
It wasn't Topher.
He didn't
I
win
thought
that
Topher deserved it, but that was a few years later.
He didn't win that for that 70s show. He can't win an Oscar for a TV show.
What's the best fucking acting performance you've ever fucking seen when he took off his mask. And
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger won it posthumously
Yeah.
over Robert Downey Jr.
Bummer.
Fun facts on the Steamboat Comedy Podcast.
Yep. I Love You Man is one of the most underrated comedies of all time. Check that one out. It's fucking...
Well, I mean, Jason Segel is underrated himself. And also, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, one of the fucking...
Yeah.
It's way up there.
Speaking of great comedic performances, Russell Brand.
Love
Love him or hate him.
Yeah.
Fucking kills it as Aldous
Kills
Snow, dude.
I think he's
Forgetting
kind of
Sarah
a
Marshall.
weird tool guy now, but he was fucking he was born for that role in that movie.
And Get Him to the Greek.
And Get Him to
he
the
plays
Greek.
the same character.
Yes, he does.
Which is fucking
Aldous
fantastic.
Snow.
Aldous Snow. Some of the best lines. Get Him to the Greek. Puff Daddy is in that movie, and he fucking murders it too.
He does.
Every line he says is funny.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ, where did this come from? Sean.
Sean.
Fucking wild.
Sean Combs, what are you doing? Oh, God. We should just have our own podcast just about movies.
Yeah, we could keep going.
That's kind of like
there's
what this
1,000
is.
tangents we could have gone on.
Yeah.
Mention a movie, think of an actor. Mention a different movie, think of a different actor. That's the whole ladder
this going
we climb up,
forever.
dude. Forever and
Fuck
ever.
comedy. We're just going to talk about movies.
Yeah, I'm down. Funny movies.
Funny movies, of course.
Sometimes sad movies.
Sometimes sad
What's
movies.
the saddest movie you think you've seen?
Dude, the saddest movie I've ever seen is probably The Notebook.
Really? I've never seen that.
Dude, I
I'm
cried.
Too straight.
So, fun fact about Kyle Ruff. Kyle Ruff cries like a little bitch when he watches movies. I can't help it. I cry when I watch movies. If it's a good
You said
movie,
you did get welled up when Garfield saved.
Oh, I squirted tears when Garfield fucking caught.
Oh, no way.
I do. I'd fucking do it. I mean, it was like
That's
legit
a
down
good
the
thing.
cheeks.
That means you're in touch with your feelings, bro. That's a good thing.
Exactly. I'm not.
This is if we get these chicks
When I was a
notice that.
youth, I was like, this is embarrassing. And now that I'm a man, I'm like, I'm just gonna cry.
Yeah. There's
I'm just gonna
no
let the sad out.
gender stereotype from men can cry.
Men can cry.
And that's what this podcast is about.
It's about men crying.
At least once a podcast, one of us will cry to promote stopping male hatred.
Yes.
White
To
male
promote
hatred.
The diffusion of toxic masculinity.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's really what we stand behind at Steamboat Comedy.
Exactly. Most of my comedy is just me crying on stage.
Yeah.
Most of
After
it.
a joke doesn't work.
It's
just
like,
cry.
do you guys hate
I
me?
really fucking thought that was going to be funny.
I'm like the guy I'm waiting. I'm like, are you guys mad at me? No, I fucking escorted. I mean, it was like nonstop fountain of tears
for The Notebook?
for The Notebook.
Jesus.
It's so sad.
That one's Gosling, right?
It's a very young Gosling. That was like Gosling's coming of age movie.
Yeah.
That put him on the map.
Well, I would argue Remember the Titans put him on the map.
That he was,
But
he was so overshadowed because there's like 8. Every single person in
Denzel.
Remember the Titans is fucking famous now.
Denzel, of course.
Ethan Suplee, stud. He was in there.
Who was he?
You don't know Ethan Suplee?
He was the
He's the
big
guy
fat
who was really fat, and now he's all fucking buff and stuff.
Yeah.
He's actually a really smart, interesting dude, too.
He said he was on a ton of painkillers the whole filming of Remember the Titans.
Really?
He said he doesn't really remember it.
Really?
I saw that on a clip on a podcast. I can't remember which fucking podcast he was on.
Huh.
I think it was Theo Vaughn's, but he was like, I
Interesting.
was heavily into pain medicine.
He's been through a lot. Well, before that, he was on American History X, which is an intense movie. That's probably
Yeah.
what got him on painkillers, was
That's a
dealing with
crazy
that fucking movie.
movie.
That's a wild movie.
Yeah, Spike Lee.
That'll make you squirt some tears, too.
The Notebook. I don't even know what the saddest movie I've seen is. I think I saw Simon Birth when I was a really young kid.
Simon Birth?
my mom watched it.
Oh, the one, that's where
little-
he's like the little guy and Jim
He's
Carrey
like
narrates it. Yeah.
He's a dwarf, and then
And he hits the fucking home run and he kills his buddy's fucking mom.
kills his buddy's mom with the baseball, and
Yeah.
then the whole movie he wants to be like a hero, and he finally saves a bunch of kids from drowning,
Yeah.
and then he dies.
Yeah.
It's like
That is.
I watched that movie one time when I was like 8, and I remember
that's
the
a
whole
fucking-
plot.
That's a rough movie, dude.
Yeah,
That's
I
a rough
remember the whole
movie.
fucking thing. He's a fucking LP to start with, dude. But he's only like 12.
Yeah, that was a tough movie. What else is a sad movie? Let's just bring the
Radio.
energy way down. Radio.
Radio.
I never saw Radio.
You never saw Radio. It was
I
pretty
saw clips
sad.
of Radio. I just remember that fucking Cuba went full retard, which, as we learned from
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder, you're not supposed to do.
Not supposed to do. There were some sad parts, but it ends happy. I think Radio does.
I do also the end of Forrest Gump. when fucking Forrest Gump is talking to Jenny's grave and he's like
Yeah.
talking, he's like, "Hey, you're so smart, Jenny." I just bawling.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
Every
Forrest
time.
Gump is. You can't argue that that's not a great fucking movie.
It's
Turn of the century.
turn of the century.
Fucking Tom Hanks.
Mm-hmm.
Other sad movies. I'm not a big sad movie guy.
See,
if I'm
me
to be
neither.
honest.
I like fun movies. I don't watch the rom-coms.
No,
I don't watch I watch the coms, not the roms.
not the rom part. Just Friends. That's like a rom-com. That's Ryan Reynolds and Amy Smart, I think.
Ryan Reynolds did a bunch of those.
Yeah, that's a pretty
rom-coms.
funny one for a rom-com, I guess.
I heard that. What's the one with him and Sandra Bullock?
Ryan Reynolds, Sandy Bullock. Oh, yeah.
So
I don't know. Sandy
the
Bullock's
roommate
like
was
the-
just watching it the other day, and she's like, "It's actually pretty funny." And I was like, "It's a rom. I'm not going to watch it." But apparently, it's more calm than rom, and I missed it.
What do you think about Wedding Crashers? That technically could be a rom-com. It's a buddy-com,
It's
but
a buddy,
also
definitely a buddy com.
rom-com, though, with how it ends.
Yeah, there's some rom.
It ends very rommy.
I
Top
love
ramen.
I love that was on not too long ago, and I forgot the scene where like Owen Wilson is all like sad and depressed, and dude, what's his name? I can't think of what.
Vince Vaughn?
Vince Vaughn, thank
Yeah.
you. Is like trying to like cheer him up, trying to get him out of his funk, and he's just like starts attacking him. And he's like, "Yeah, you redneck," and he's just like, "What?"
You just called me a redneck?
Yeah, just like out of nowhere, he's just kind of like, "What?"
Hillbilly?
Yeah, hillbilly, and he's just like so confused. He just like leaves.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Redneck. Hillbilly?
Yeah, hillbilly. And he's just like, I'm gonna go.
You just call me a hillbilly?
It's like it's so because there's no like that's not like a callback to anything. It's just completely
No,
random. It
it's
just
him
calls
being
him,
so flustered. And
Yeah.
that's one of the funniest things is when someone's very flustered
they just start saying
and
things.
spouts shit out.
Yeah, and you're just
that'll
like, what?
always work as a comedy
Yeah.
fucking chemistry.
Yeah,
dude.
it was so good because he's like, yeah, you redneck. And he's like, what? And he goes, you hillbilly. And he's like,
Just
what are you talking
The
about?
double down
Yeah,
is
he doubles down. He's like hillbilly. He just goes like, what? Again, he's like out. like we're not going to discuss this any further.
the double down is a very prominent comedy philosophy, at least in my book.
Indeed.
I respect the fuck out of a double down.
Oh yeah.
I think one of the shows we did last time, I had a joke that didn't work, and then I did a callback to that joke, and then afterwards you're like, the only callback you had was to a joke that didn't work. And I was like, that's very fucking funny. I might try to actually start doing that more.
Yeah. And
Just
I
'cause-
appreciate it. Just like, I'm just going to make this work,
Yeah.
whether you like it or
Remember
not.
that joke that didn't work?
Yeah.
Here it is
again in your face.
That's a double down.
Yeah, and everyone's just like, okay.
All right. I mean, that was your worst fucking joke. No one laughed. Why are you bringing it back up?
But it works. It works if it doesn't work, and then you acknowledge that it doesn't work.
acknowledgement.
And then you double down on it.
That's why when we were talking afterwards, you were like, that's the only one that didn't work. I was like, I should have acknowledged that, and then it would have been funny.
Right.
But I didn't, and it just fell flat again.
And that's something that like the more I watch like more people like even like Mark Masters, like when he did his, he was very aware of like when his joke didn't work, and he'd like call attention to it not working and then try to riff from that standpoint.
I think that's a very Zen thing, man.
It's a Zen thing. It's also it's a thing that brings the audience in.
Yeah.
Because that's advice I got early on from it's Pat Truer actually told me this. He's like, if you're hosting, you are speaking on behalf of the audience, and it's really not just hosting; it's everyone, but especially hosting, where it's like if someone goes up and doesn't do well, you have to go up there and be like, "Well, that didn't do well." Like
That's
you
it.
have to say it. Like you have to acknowledge what's going on because that's what brings everyone. That's like we're all part of this thing.
It releases the tension, which is a
Absolutely.
huge factor in comedy.
Absolutely.
Build the tension to release it, provokes laughter.
Yes.
And if you don't release that fucking tension, especially as the host,
Yeah.
like as Pat was saying, that should be the job of the host.
Right.
Then the whole everyone will be tense the
Yeah.
whole fucking show, dude. That's
Right.
not fun
And that's, I mean,
for
that's
anyone but me and you know.
Yeah, of course. Well, we
So
just murder.
it's fun for
obviously.
us.
I mean, yeah. But but no, it's that kind of acknowledgement of what's going on. I think goes a long way, just in general
Yeah,
with comedy.
I agree. I think it's fucking. It's the self-awareness
Yeah.
comes in with the Zen. Comes in with the you got to be present to know
Yes.
what the fuck is happening and what the kind of vibe you're fucking
Right.
giving off.
And it also just shows confidence that you're like okay with rolling with whatever the fuck is happening.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
the fucked up thing is this is all very when we're on stage is very prepared. Like, we chose to say this most of the time.
Most of the time.
Like, I had thoughts about this before many times, and I was like, I'm going to say that.
I wrote these thoughts down
again
on paper. And I'm going to say
for
it
you
out
guys
loud.
in a live show. And if it doesn't work, I feel like a fucking idiot. So that needs to be addressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I guess I'm a fool.
Yeah, I guess I was wrong about everything. Who else knows what I was wrong about?
Yeah, right?
Maybe.
You guys all saw how bad that was, right?
Oh, man.
Oh,
Good
buddy.
old-fashioned bomb. Nothing. I have a weird relationship with bombing, I think. Sometimes when you don't bomb, do you feel like you miss it? And then you do bomb and you're like, oh, I remember this is the worst thing of all fucking time.
I mean, I don't know. I bomb all the time, so I guess it's I guess it depends on what you mean. I don't know. I guess I haven't actually bombed hard.
You gotta knock on wood.
No, I mean
bro.
I didn't finish my sentence in a long time.
Yeah.
Not since I was starting out, because it's the same kind of thing where like now the way you avoid bombing is one, having shit you know works, obviously.
Yeah.
And like if you're gonna do new stuff, mix it in with shit that you know works. But
Don't open with it.
Don't open with
Don't
it,
open
Drew.
with it.
And sorry, Drew. But also just the acknowledgement of it.
Yeah.
Because like if something doesn't work, then I'll just make fun of myself for it not working.
Yeah.
90+% of the time that does well enough to get you through to the next thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely. I had a thought about that, but I fucking forgot it.
That's
I did. It's fucked up. But it was like,
It happens.
yeah, what are you going to do, man?
It happens. We can probably wrap this guy up.
Yeah,
About
I
an
think
hour.
so. I mean,
Do you have any more closing thoughts on Spiderman or
sad movies or
sad movies,
or
things that make you
skiing
cry?
injuries, dude?
Yeah, hurting yourself.
No, I'm not really, man. I'm stoked to tell some more fucking jokes, though I am.
Oh, and we got some.
Missed the last open mic, and I was like, fuck, man. But
It was a surprising. I was so worried. I was like, "There's no one here. I'm gonna have to fucking just eat plates of shit." It ended up being a great time because now we're at the full swing here where we got tourists coming in,
yeah,
and that's one thing I wanted to relate to just kind of like our group of people is I feel like a lot of people are still in the mindset of doing like jokes that pander to like local people and like Steamboat jokes.
yeah,
But our crowds, like, so the last show, I went out of my way to promote to locals. I put on like local pages. I put a promo code for like any Steamboat Springs employee gets half off tickets and
Yep.
shit. Our crowd was 100% tourists.
that's wild.
100% tourists.
You just gotta write it down,
So-
note it, you know.
So, well, I mean, at that point, it's like we should be in the mindset of performing for people who haven't seen us, even though it feels like, oh, like, you know, we're in the same place doing the same thing, but it's a new crowd every time. And so just like,
I think performing as locals, not for the locals.
right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because they're gonna want to see local people up there performing.
Right.
But all our jokes don't have to be like fucking Steamboat.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But even people like, someone was like, oh, it's Texas week and I went to CPL.
Yeah.
And it's like the crowd has no fucking idea what CPL is.
I
And
didn't.
It's also Texas Week is not. It's called Music Fest, and we just refer to it as Texas Week because
Yeah.
it's all Texans. Like it's not actually called Texas Week.
Let them know that.
Yeah.
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 Dude, let them know that that's what we
Yeah.
call it.
Cue
That'd be
them in
funny.
on it.
That'd
Yeah.
be good. That'd be funny.
Yeah, like welcome to Music Fest, or as we call it, Texas Week. Like
Yeah.
that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like that. I think that mindset needs to get brought on people. This is some inside baseball.
I think you're right. I believe so.
It's
I
just-
do the same jokes whether it's locals or tourists every time anyway.
Sure. Yeah. No.
Very-
I'm not. This wasn't you.
No,
It's
I know,
other
I know.
people. But
I was just making it about me.
it's just the mindset of like us becoming more of a legit comedy scene.
Yeah.
Because this is not something that people in Denver deal with because it's always fucking whatever you're going to get in Denver. There's a-
95% of people from Denver,
Right.
where we have anywhere from 50 to 100% of people are tourists.
Right. But even
You know?
people from Denver, the point is they don't see it's not the same people. It's not our little show.
Oh, because there's so many fucking
Right.
people in Denver.
So
yeah.
like you're not performing to a niche audience when you're in Denver is my
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like and so many people are like in the mud season or even the summer season mindset of being like, oh well, like we'll just make jokes about how crazy it is to be here because we all live here. But it's you say that to our last crowd, and everyone's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
I don't live here.
I have no idea.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, we'll see. We'll see how this next fucking weekend goes. Should be
Yes.
good. Should be a good fucking time.
And on that note, this next weekend coming up after this podcast comes out, we got very funny Mr. Mike Stanley.
Stoked to see him.
Dude, I'm very excited. So
Stoked.
I saw our next two shows. So the first time I went to Comedy Works, we went to Thick Skin Night. So Thick Skin Night at Comedy Works is a night where they have half pro comics and half names out of a bucket.
Yeah.
And anyone can do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's hosted by Mike Stanley.
Oh, okay.
Mike Stanley has been running. He's like a big time guy on the Denver scene. He's like he headlines Comedy Works all the time now. Like he's like probably about to put out a special. Like he's really coming up.
Nice. Fuck
Very
yeah.
funny dude. But he hosts it, and he always brings in a pro to like co-host it with him. And the first time I saw it, the co-host was Stephen AJ, who is going to be here headlining 2 weeks after that.
Nice.
The last weekend of January. And those two guys fucking killed it.
Yes.
And we actually had our own, when we went, we all put our name in the bucket. Our own Miles Sanchez went up on stage.
Got to come back out, Miles.
Got to come back out, Miles. I just saw his fucking ass.
Got to come
today.
back out, dude.
Get back on the horse.
Do you not have fun with us or something?
Yeah,
Are we not fun? Is this us?
Yeah. Is it me?
Is it me?
Is it him?
Is it us?
Is it us? Miles? Fucker?
Answer me.
If you don't call me in the next 30 seconds, I'm pissed. But those two guys were both so funny. Mike Stanley's so funny, and he's gonna do a great job. I'm very stoked to have him here. And also, friend of the show, Steamboat Comedy Podcast, frequent guest Corey David is going to be featured.
Haven't seen him in a minute. Always stoked for fucking Corey.
Yeah, love Corey. He's another guy who's just rising
Funny
fucking
as
super
fuck,
fast.
bro.
Very funny dude.
Making moves.
Very fucking sharp dude.
Yeah.
And he's going to feature
Not
for
just
him.
dressed either.
Not just dressed.
He's a sharp.
He's a sharp-looking man.
He's a sharp dressed guy.
He's a handsome boy.
He is a handsome, funny fucking man. He'd hate it if we were just.
I know, right?
He's so handsome. He's like, dude,
You're
fuck
so
you, man.
handsome, Corey. I love you. They're going to come up for this next show. It's going to be a great time. So get your tickets now, steamboatcomedy.com. The link is up. We've already sold a couple tickets. So it's be coming up this weekend, the 14th and 15th
At
January,
Schmiggity's.
At Schmiggity's. So get your tickets now. It's going to be a great time. And we got more shit coming down the pipes. Obviously, we still got open mics every Tuesday.
Yep.
The adult spelling bee every Wednesday.
Oh yeah. Some other things in the work.
And some more things in the work.
Yep.
So, stay tuned.
Kyle's work, really. I don't do much.
I mean,
I show up to this.
I bring you around.
I show up to this.
I do the work, and I'm like, Matt, bring your ass.
I
over
tried to
here.
do the work one time, and I was like, I don't want to do the work anymore.
The work
Tried to do a
sucked.
tiny bit of work once, and I was like, I can't do the
You're
work.
like, oh, work sucks.
I can't do that, Kyle. I'm sorry. I thought I could do it. I can't do it.
Well, I appreciate your honesty.
I tried. Couldn't do it.
Hey, you make great posters.
That's what you know, right?
Well, I mean, I make them, but you print them.
I print the fuck
you
out
print
of
the
it. There's
fuck
one thing
out
I can
of
do. I can print a fucking poster, dude. Not full bleed.
Not fully
All right?
It's like a crazy.
The printer doesn't do that. I would have to cut those. I'm not going
And
to.
I'm not going to do that.
I don't have time for that.
So, check that all at steamboatcomedy.com, and we'll see you next time.
Check it out. Thanks for joining us.
All right. See you guys. Dun, 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 dun.
Rain or shine, it's here to make you laugh. It's the Steamboat Comedy Podcast. It's the Steamboat Comedy Podcast.